Right, today, the social programming system. Oh yeah. What is it? How do we deal with it? Why? All that good jazz. So, the system that we're currently in, whether we like it or not, and we're being brainwashed by, oh hang on, are we brainwashed? Well, if you don't think so, that's exactly the first thing a brainwashed person would say. So, and also the very nature of consciousness means that everything that anything can perceive is real. Everything. And if we don't like it, well, that's a representation of something within ourselves that if we want to grow, we have to own that. First of all, accept it and then try to deal with it and fix it. So, the ingenious of the system is that it's simple once you know how it works. So, chemtrails, geoengineering, weather control, been happening for 50 years. Whether we like it or not, no, we don't. It's horrible. Nobody likes it, but we don't have control of it, so we've got to do what we can to control ourselves to deal with it. And so feel free to have a look, Google geoengineering and FunVax. FunVax is a not so fun fundamentalist vaccine that the CIA and have produced to change the brain structure so people don't have a religious or a spiritual or fundamentalist, as they call it, belief system. Does that sound like one reason why the West could be disconnected from our spirit? Totally. Feel free to check it out. You'll be astonished. So, these planes releasing all these different toxic chemicals, but the main one that I've found out is silver iodide. And these ones have a significant effect on the mind because there's a lot of heavy metals and they just keep us dense. And, well, whether we believe that gravity actually exists or it's simply the density of the person's subconscious body that is keeping them here and not their perception from rising. Yeah. How do I know? Because I've done lots of things to fix this and my perception is quite high. So, and of course we have to, in anything in the universe, universal law of polarity has to exist. So, up here we've got one pole. There, and then down here we've got another pole. So, how do we connect that? Well, it's done for us by chemicals in the soil, fertilizers, yucky stuff in our food that we don't really need, and chemicals in our water. Yes, the Western world, or at least the anglicized world, significantly pollutes and controls people's minds by putting fluoride and other chemicals in the water. Definitely want a water filter if you want your brain to work, which we all want you to improve yourself. And how do we connect that? Well, transmission towers from television, radio, phones, the works. That creates a circuit here, even though we can't quite see it. That's the ingenious part of it. It's done by frequency. Yes, everything in the universal law of frequency. And we have to, as individuals and as a group collective, raise our individual frequency to get through here. And then ideally get our pole up to here. The divine, or source, or, outside of God and religion. The creator, whatever you want to call it. How do we do that? We have to get ourselves out of the system. So eating chemical-laden food gonna put more heavy metals and toxicity in our body, keeping us dense and down and low. So, also, what's the best one? Beer, coffee. Coffee in particular is destroying people's nervous system so they cannot rise up here. When you control someone's parasympathetic nervous system by this method, the food and coffee and water, then the person is unable to sit and actually meditate, and I mean properly meditate with zero happening. It's a fantastic way to keep them down. And what happens if all of these different messages and frequencies have so much heavy metals in them, keeping us down. And what happens with heavy metals? The emotional effect is guilt and shame. Yeah, nobody likes that stuff. Have a look in our society. We're totally run by guilt and shame and controlled by it, and in our media and all this television garbage that we just chuck out television. It's a lot easier. So how do we get up here? Well, sweating, detoxification, meditation, asana, yoga practice are all fantastic ways to raise your vibration. And ideally what we need to do is get our nervous system in such a brilliant state and gentle and relaxed by our food, diet and lifestyle and our consciousness choices that we have 4 elements. We need to sort out the 4 elements in the body first, and then the 5th element, which is, you can call it raising your kundalini, fire of the Pentecost, all these different names. What happens is your awareness shoots up and gets out of the dome of the social programming, and then up here is where the 5th element lies. So then your perception is now outside of the social programming that most people have. We all have, that we're all trying to get rid of. How do we get up to there? Well, it takes a lot of time and effort. It's easy enough to do. You can do it within 3 years if you have discipline and the right approach. How many people have done it? 0.5% of the population. Yeah, it's not a lot. We're working on that. It's one of my jobs and one of my responsibilities to help people to get to this stage where they become superhuman. Kind of fun. It is. The only thing is, the downsides. Well, expanded perception, a check on the real reality outside of the dome, much like the Truman Show, dome of awareness. Feel free to have a look at the Truman Show again and watching it from the perspective that it is a documentary telling us what is social programming, how to get in, how to get out. There'll be guaranteed be a lot of messages there for you to perceive and chat about. It was a really fantastic discussion with some friends, some knowledgeable, conscious friends. So, here's the system. Might want to, make a couple of adjustments as a result of this. And if you don't believe it, well, check with your belief system, and because beliefs are so 5th dimensional, let's get above that into 6 and 7 and be absolutely superhuman. Superhuman.